You probably don't even realize how tightly you've been holding on, not just to your plans, not just to your schedule or your future, but to everything, your emotions, your reactions, even the way people see you. You try to control how you feel. You try to control when peace arrives. You try to control how healing happens. But you're tired, aren't you? Not tired from life itself, but tired from trying to hold life in place. This is a story about something we rarely talk about. Not because it's small, but because it's invisible. Because on the outside, you look responsible. You look calm. You look like someone doing the work. But inside, you are exhausted. And maybe, just maybe, the reason you haven't found the peace you're chasing is because you've been trying to control how it arrives. This is a story about letting go, not giving up. Letting go of control so you can finally find something real. Let's begin. Have you ever noticed how much of your life is shaped by control? You plan your day. You monitor your mood. You track your progress. You try to think the right thoughts, feel the right feelings, act the right way. You try to be okay. You try to be strong. You try to be calm. You want to heal? Yes. You want to grow. You want peace. But there's a hidden condition buried deep inside that desire. You want it to happen your way. You want healing that makes sense. You want peace that comes on time. You want change, but only if it's on your terms. We don't call it control. We call it being self-aware. We call it doing the work. We call it being intentional. But here's the truth no one tells you. When you turn healing into a project, when you try to control how growth unfolds, you're not healing. You're micromanaging your own soul. And that doesn't make you bad. It makes you human. Because we've been taught to survive. We've been taught that if we stay one step ahead, if we can just predict, plan, and prepare, then maybe, just maybe, we won't get hurt again. So we manage everything. Our thoughts, our energy, our image, our emotions. We try to control the narrative of who we are. And no one sees the weight of it because we make it look effortless. But inside it's like carrying a suitcase full of invisible bricks. And every time something doesn't go the way you expected, you tighten, you clench, you prepare for impact. You call it self-discipline, but what you're really doing is trying to avoid pain. You think control is protecting you, but it's not. It's exhausting you. Here's a hard question. Is safety what you're really after? Or is it just the excuse you use to never let go? Control feels smart. It feels responsible. It feels like being careful, thoughtful, intentional. But control is a liar. It whispers things like, don't relax. You haven't earned it. Don't feel that. It'll throw you off. Don't slow down. You might miss something. But what you're really missing is yourself. Because when you're always adjusting, you can't be present. You can't feel. You can't trust. You build routines not because they bring you joy, but because they give you the illusion that you're doing it right. You think you're making progress, but really, you're building a cage made of perfectionism. And the saddest part? The version of you who is already whole is trapped on the other side of that cage. You feel lost even when you're doing everything right. You question your intuition because it doesn't fit your schedule. You wonder if your peace is real because it came too easily. You don't trust yourself because control doesn't just limit your life. It suffocates your inner world. But what if you let go? Not all at once, not in some dramatic way, but gently. What if you allowed space to exist? Silence to remain? At first, nothing happens. And that's what scares us. Because when we've been gripping for so long, peace feels like absence. Stillness feels like something's wrong. We're not used to space. We're used to pressure. But stay there. Stay with the silence. Don't rush to fill it. Don't run back to the noise just because it's familiar. Because if you give it time, space becomes clarity. Not the kind you chase. The kind that finds you. Not the kind that arrives because you earned it. The kind that arrives because you stopped blocking it. Let's pause for a moment and be honest. What are you really afraid of if you let go of control? Are you scared that people will walk away? That you'll become lazy? That you'll fall apart? That the pain will catch up with you? For most of us, control is not about power. It's about fear. Somewhere deep inside, we believe that if we don't manage everything, something bad will happen. We believe that if we don't hold on tight, life will slip through our fingers. So we watch everything. We analyze, we overthink, we replay conversations in our head. We apologize even when we did nothing wrong. We check, double check, and triple check. Not because we're obsessive, but because we're scared. Scared of being blindsided. Scared of being caught off guard. Scared of getting hurt like we did before. But what if I told you? You're already carrying the pain. You're already exhausted from holding it all together. You're already living in the fear. Letting go won't bring pain. Letting go will release it. You've been trying to keep everything in place, but it's not your job to hold the universe. It never was. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop forcing. It means you stop believing that the outcome is entirely up to you. It means you begin trusting that life is more than your plans, that healing is not a straight line, that peace doesn't come from perfection, and most importantly, that you are enough even when you're not in control. Most people misunderstand surrender. They think it means defeat. They think it's weakness. They think it's passive. But true surrender is the most courageous thing you can do. Because surrender means this: I will stay present even when I don't understand. I will breathe even when I can't fix it. I will feel even when it hurts. I will let life lead me even when I'm afraid. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving in to something wiser, deeper, and larger than your fear. Surrender is what happens when the soul finally whispers, I'm tired of fighting myself. And when you surrender, you start to see things you never noticed before. The way the sunlight falls through your window, the way your chest rises and falls when you breathe, the sound of your own laughter, the little things you used to rush past, suddenly become sacred. Because when you stop trying to control the big things, you start noticing the beauty in small things. And this is how peace begins. You've spent so long trying to stay ahead, trying to prevent pain before it happens, trying to keep everything together before it even begins to fall apart. But what if the healing isn't in fixing every possible crack? What if the healing is in letting some of it fall, just to see that you're still okay? It's in the pause, the breath, the quiet second where you stop trying to become someone better and just allow yourself to be who you already are. That's where peace begins. Not when everything is finally perfect, but when you stop believing it has to be. You begin to pour your coffee slower, not because it's a ritual, but because no one's rushing you anymore. You take longer walks, not to hit a step goal, but because the sky looks different every day, and today it caught your eye. You stop trying to edit every emotion before it leaves your mouth. You stop rehearsing your feelings like they need approval to exist. And slowly, you start to feel real again. Not the polished version of real. Not the impressive, high-functioning, Instagram-worthy real. Just you. A little messy, a little tired, but honest. Whole. Enough.